Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. Thanks for tuning in. Ham Talk Live will be on the air shortly. Please stand by. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. For connectors, cables, and more, call 920-435-2973 or visit pl-259.com. And by the Ham Station. Get your new radio or antenna by calling 800-729-4373 or go to hamstation.com.
It's Ham Radio with Neil Rapp. Here we go. Welcome to Ham Talk Live. Call in, let's talk. Neil's your guy. Ham Talk Live. Here we go on Ham Talk Radio.
And a good evening to everyone. This is Ham Talk Live, episode number 27. It's the Huntsville Hamfest preview, recorded live on Thursday, August 18th, 2016. I'm your host, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ham Talk Live. Tonight we'll be joined by Charlie Emerson, in for OKL, the chairman of the Huntsville Hamfest. We'll preview all the exciting things happening in Huntsville this weekend and take your calls live. Last week on the show, it was our first DMR show and went over big. Tony Tolbert, W9AMT, the founder of Hoosier DMR, was here to talk about digital mobile radio. So if you missed that show, you can listen anytime. Just tune in to hamtalklive.com. Or if you're a podcast nut, you can go over on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, SoundCloud, or you can even go over to YouTube and listen in. Get all your questions ready to go about Huntsville. After the introduction, you can call us on Skype at the username HamTalkLive, or you can call us by telephone. That telephone number is 812-NET-HAM1. 812-NET-HAM1. That's 638-4261. Also, you can tweet us. Our Twitter handle is @HamTalkLive, and we've even got a chat room on the website. You can post a question on there. So I'll be back with Charlie Emerson in for OKL right after this word from the Ham Station right here on Ham Talk Live. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by the Ham Station. For 35 years, the Ham Station has brought new and used radios, antennas, accessories, and equipment to the amateur radio community. Give Jeff or Dan a call at 1-800-729-4373 or order online at hamstation.com. Ham Station carries all the major brands like ICOM, Yaesu, and Kenwood. Shop from a wide selection of radio scanners, MFJ accessories, Heil Sound products, Mirage and Ameritron amplifiers, Cushcraft antennas, and more. Easy online shopping and fast shipping are waiting for you at hamstation.com or call 1-800-729-4373. The Ham Station, proud to sponsor this episode of Ham Talk Live.
If at first you don't succeed, skydiving isn't for you. You're listening to Ham Talk Live with Neil Rapp.
Welcome back to Ham Talk Live, the Ham Station. As you covered for both new and used equipment, give Dan or Jeff a call at 800-729-4373 or go to hamstation.com. Be sure to listen to the show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on hamtalklive.com. Also, be sure to check out our Facebook page and our Twitter feed. Just search for Ham Talk Live. Charlie Emerson in for OKL is the chairman of the Huntsville, Alabama Hamfest. The Huntsville Hamfest slogan is the world's friendliest hamfest, and I can vouch for that personally. The Hamfest is held on the third weekend of August each year in the Von Braun Center. The Huntsville Hamfest features several commercial vendors, a flea market, a youth lounge, top-name speakers, and the amateur radio newsline Young Ham of the Year Award presentation, all under one roof. With air conditioning, ample parking directly below the Von Braun Center, Embassy Suites connected by Skyway next door, and plenty of elevators and good food and vendors, it's no wonder it's one of the favorite hamfests in the world. Their Hamfest website is hamfest.org. Charlie, welcome to Ham Talk Live.
Well, thank you very much, man, and good evening to all of your Ham Talk Live audience there, and would encourage everybody to listen in. There may be some people broadcasting from the Huntsville Hamfest. If you need any other information, you might go to www.hamfest.org, like Neil said there a while ago, and prowl around on there. We got our prizes and all of that stuff going, and it looks like this year, man, we're going to have a really big show, or a bigger one than we normally have. One of the biggest events for us at the Hamfest is the professor is going to be with us. He's and I tell you, he wears that big hat.
Oh, I know.
And all of that,
and the robe and the whole bit.
Oh yeah, man. And I'll tell you what, I am really looking forward to seeing him here. It's his first time to come to Huntsville as his, in his profession. He's visited Huntsville, but Gordon hadn't been and worked the way that he's doing here. So he's going to put on a seminar that is really interesting. I don't believe I've ever seen one. It's called Teaching the Teachers, and he's going to tell everybody, or show everybody, his methods for if people that want to be Elmers, people that want to teach ham radio, want to get people in into the hobby and all of that stuff. Gordon West will have a great show down here for us this coming up weekend there, Neil. We're lucky to have him.
Oh, yeah. Gordon's always very entertaining. Of course, we're talking about Gordon West, WB6NOA, the Gordon West Radio School, and I'm sure he will have all kinds of silly antics and all kinds of good information down there at Huntsville. So just go ahead and fill us in on what's happening this weekend at the Hamfest. What other big things are happening there at the Von Braun Center?
Well, we've got three young hams. We've got the Hiram Maxim Young Ham of the Year, and we've got the Alabama Young Ham of the Year. I don't have their names up here at the moment, but you can catch them on our website and get the names there. But that event right there is going to be pretty good, no doubt about it. And there's just all kinds of things going on. We've got a really big slate, a good lineup of ham radio related stuff here with the forums. And I'll tell you what, one of the most interesting ones to me that's going to be, of course, all of them are, and they're great and everything, but Dr. Monty Bateman, who is a real good friend of mine and somebody that I eat lunch with every Tuesday, he's our youth director, youth lounge director, and he's also going to he's a lightning expert. And he can tell you what the real deal is as far as what's good and all of that stuff to try to keep the lightning out of the shack. And he knows the difference between the real stuff and the snake oil. So he'll be letting everybody know about that. But there is just an awful lot. I'd encourage anybody that wants to see what's going on in the forums to go to our website, hamfest.org. Look on the left-hand side and come on down to forums and click on there. And you can get all the information. You can download and print the schedules and all of that stuff where you can make your plans for where you want to be at any time. And our forums lead is Tom Duncan. Tom has done just a great job of lining everything up and doing that. We've had one of the guys retire, Johnny Winter, that he had done this. Gosh, I think since the Huntsville Hamfest got started in Huntsville as the Huntsville Hamfest in 1980, but it was going before that, and there was the Hamfest was going from Huntsville to Muscle Shoals to Florence, and that may not be right, but it was going to 3 different places, and so anyway, it finally wound up over here in Huntsville, and Don Tunstall, just a brilliant guy that him and Johnny set up the idea to have the Huntsville Hamfest, and so Johnny retired, and Tom Duncan is taking his place. But I always want to try to remember Johnny and all those. And another one that's retired a little bit from us is Dave Gibbons, who does the flea market, and Dave had done it for 30-something years, man. I can't believe.
My.
And them other guys, Johnny and all them other guys, man, they've been doing it all that time. Now, there's one other guy that's come in to take Dave's place, which is Jim Spikes. But other than Jim, I'm the young guy, man. I'm the new kid on the block. I mean, I've been doing it a little while now and all that. But all the other guys, Dave Gibbons and Art Davis. Art Davis is just a brilliant genius. Man, I hope he ain't listening, but I tell you, man, the guy really knows how to do a layout, and he's been doing it for years and years and years, and he's just he's a whiz at it, man. I'm not kidding you. So I don't know what we'd do without old Art and Dave and Jim and Teresa. Frost is the Secretary Treasurer, and so I mean, you know, that we got other people that do other things and all. We got Warren. Alfred and his wife Karen that take care of all of our food and everything. We feed everybody honey baked ham sandwiches and turkey and boy, some of the best cookies you ever put in your mouth, man. I mean they're really good, and so we feed everybody and do that. But that's, you know, some of the people that do that, and I don't want to hope I don't want to leave anybody out or anything. But we got a good, tight, dedicated, you know, group of folks that put on or make the decisions for the Hamfest, and we're just fortunate to have that situation to where we don't have to reinvent the wheel every year. And I'll tell you another thing too is we don't have the constraint of showing a big profit to anybody, so we give money away to different organizations and clubs and even individuals at times. And so we don't, if we get back down, if we spend the money, I tell people all the time, man, that if we make money, I spend that stuff like a drunk sailor, man. And I'm not kidding you. I mean, I give everybody money, man, for that. And we try to spread the stuff around there a little bit and all that. And it works out real well to our benefit, man. No kidding. We're just glad to do it. And so anyway, that's basically the way the Huntsville Hamfest works. We don't have a whole lot of people breathing down our neck about how much profit we make, you know, because if we do make some, we get back down to what we call our comfort zone or our level of comfort with the money and all of that, and then we just start all over again. So, you know, we, you know, luckily and fortunate and blessed that the Huntsville Hamfest has done as well as it has, and even through some trying times with the economy and all of that kind of stuff, we've grown a little bit every year. We get new dealers in, we get people, and we're up to over 5,000 people in 2 days, and so we're just very blessed indeed to have that, and it's people that like yourself and others that get the word around. So. Thanks a lot for what you do here, Neil. I tell you, I'll start tuning in. I'd never heard of it, you know, but I'll start tuning in and seeing what's going on. So, man, we really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, no problem. We're glad to do it. And yeah, we are kind of new on the scene. We started the show in mid-February, and so we are kind of new out there. So we're glad that. Well, you were agreeable to doing this here. I know that you've got a lot going on right now. Just day before the setup, and 2 days of nothing but Hamfest, And it does take a crew to make all of that work. You can't do it all by yourself, although I tried to do a small one almost by myself for many years, and I understand the efforts that it takes. And you were telling me that before the show that you've got a whole bunch of volunteers this year. You named off a bunch of them, but how many volunteers do you have to run the Hamfest this year?
Well, I don't know exactly. I hadn't counted them, but it looks like to me that it's it's north of 60. That of the folks that we call hospitality people, and that's the ones that one of the things that Huntsville Hamfest has got in its favor, and not very many places have, is that you can actually drive into the Von Braun Center, and we got people and enough people that they'll help you unload your stuff. They'll help you get it onto a cart. We got carts that we haul the equipment on and then take you back to your table and help you get set up. So we got that going for us, and right now it seems to be very popular, and I can understand that because there's still a lot of old boat anchor stuff that shows up and all of that, and as you know, man, that stuff ain't light, and so we've got a big crew, and we got a lot of people that are really dedicated. One of the guys, I can't think of his name right now, but I have trouble. I'm older I get, the worse my memory is. But anyway, we got one guy's got his own cart. He brings his own cart. So
very good.
He is a dedicated troop, man. I'm telling you. And gosh, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now. But anyway, we got a lot of dedicated troops that know what they're doing, and they're eager and determined to get it done and get it done right. So anybody that needs anything, we try to help them with it any way we can.
Well, I first started coming about 3 years ago for the Young Ham of the Year award ceremony because one of my students was being recognized, and so I checked up on everything, and I was just amazed and envious because of all the years that I ran a Hamfest and tried to get a facility and tried to find one that was good for what we were doing and everything, and I walked in and stayed in Embassy Suites. So I went on the skywalk and just walked right into the Hamfest. Parked there, I could take my stuff back to my room, lock it up, run back, get some more stuff over there, and go sit down, hang out for lunch for a little bit, come back. Go to the ceremony, and it really was just the easiest Hamfest to go to because you've got the Embassy Suites connected by Skywalk right there. The parking is right underneath the Von Braun Center, and it was just so easy to come in and enjoy and relax and see people and hang out and do some shopping. And the youth lounge, I still haven't seen a youth lounge like that one, and I can't tell you the impact that it had on some of my students that have come there over the years. That it really helped get them going, and so the youth lounge is just fabulous. So I am very glad that you've done all that, and you mentioned the carts and everything. And helping the vendors load and unload, but you phrase it the world's friendliest Hamfest. So tell us some other ways that you're the world's friendliest Hamfest.
Well, that's that's probably the main reason that we do that is that we help everybody that we can to do what they're going to do when they come to Huntsville, and so. If there's anything that anybody needs, we try to do our best to make that happen. And there's a lot of things that we do that I don't know. I don't know if everybody else does it or not, but it's just stuff that we've always done. And the move in and all of that stuff is one of them. And
but even your ticket takers are friendly.
Yes, we get
They are.
Yeah, those ladies are absolutely magnificent, man. They they are the ones that really if we didn't have them, they're called the Haylarks, and there's some of them that's got a little age on them, and they got a few young folks sprinkled out in there and all of that stuff, but they've been around a long time, and they know what they're doing, and they know they know how to make people smile when they come in, and so we're thankful for the Haylarks. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah, you walk in and they're right there, trying to make sure you know where you're going and what's going on, and get you through and space everybody out so you can fill out your tickets and get your button and get through there, and just the friendliest folks, and so from the beginning to the end, it really is the friendliest Hamfest I've ever seen. And, it may not be the biggest, but boy, it's the friendliest. And like I said, it's the most enjoyable, I think, because it is just so easy to navigate around and get to everything.
Well, another thing, and we catch a little grief about it from time to time. The tailgate boys, there's people that really do like tailgates, and they like them outside. But we're fortunate to be able to have our flea market inside. When we got almost 400 flea market tables, and we don't have to worry about what's going on outside with the temperature or any kind of inclement weather or anything. And
if I'm not mistaken, it's a little hot in Alabama every once in a while.
Yeah, they tell me it is, but boy, I'll tell you right now, it is. And them boys down there at the BBC, they crank that air conditioning down, and I've heard people say that you'd be well advised to bring a light jacket. So, man, I'll tell you, it is. It's nice to have that kind of condition. It's not that big and all of that, but we don't have the outside. But man, we're expecting rain, this weekend. So, I mean, if it was outside or whatever, I've seen the weather and all of that stuff just tear other places up, man. That didn't have a big a place to put everybody, and Dayton, for instance, man, you know what happens up there when the weather gets bad, man. Boy, everybody gets in.
Everybody's inside.
Yeah, everybody's inside, and that's speaking of Dayton, I never have seen. Excuse me, I never have had them to request this before, but they're going to have a booth here at Huntsville. The Dayton Hamvention folks are going to have a booth here in Huntsville so that people can ask their questions and get a picture of the map and of where they're going, and they just want to try to clear up some of the confusion and answer some questions and show you some pictures and all that stuff. And I think it's great, man. I really do. We're tickled to death about them, man.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I've been communicating with them some as well. And of course, they're just kind of overloaded right now with all the changes coming up. And I had planned on doing a virtual tour over there, and then they said, well, somebody already beat you to it, and it's going to be on Ham Nation, and it was on last night. But, they've got a lot to clear up, and I know one of the things that they mentioned was that there's just a lot of wrong information running around right now. And so I wholeheartedly agree with you that we just need to be a little patient and wait and let them figure out things, and then we're going to also do some preview of that on this show, and we've already talked to them about doing something this winter after they've had a chance to put some things together. So that's great that they're coming down there to hopefully clear up some of that.
Right. Right.
So one last thing I got to do before we take our break is me being a former broadcast radio guy and a guy that announces sports and stuff, and now I'm doing the radio show here. I always notice your PA announcer, because I'm a PA announcer. That's kind of how I got all my start into broadcasting. And You've even got the world's best Hamfest PA announcer down there. So tell us a little bit about him.
Well, I really, to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about him. I mean, he shows up and, he's one of them that we don't have to do any coercing or anything like that. But Doug Childs is his name, and I can't remember his call, but Doug Childs, and boy, he does a good job. He's got that situation there. He's been doing it a long time, and our prize director, Jordan Townsend, and him work together. Of course, they got another helper up there as well, Craig Simmons, I believe he is. And I think Craig's going to help them this year. But anyway, those two work together, and they run the prizes, and and he makes the announcements. And Doug is real good about being very aware that when the PA comes on, if somebody's trying to sell something to somebody, man, they can't hear it. I mean, they have got a fantastic sound system down there, and sometimes it's overwhelming. We try to cut it back and all of that, but Doug really is very careful and about what he announces and how long that he announces those things, and so we're just tickled to death and proud of old Doug. He does a good job. He's got a good personality. He's doing. You're right, man. I mean he's the best I've ever heard, man. I mean he honestly is. And I hate to, I'm not trying to say, anything or anybody's bad or whatever. But, man, I tell you what, old Doug, I'm like you, old Doug's about the best I ever seen.
Oh, he is. And we'd always laugh at the Young Ham of the Year award, which is one of the main reasons that I'm coming down there. And, it's going on while the Hamfest is going on. And so he would try to get everybody's attention and everything. And then, somebody come up to him and say, well, why you got that thing turned up so loud for? We're trying to have a Hamfest here. And it's like, well, we're trying to honor this kid here that's done, all this amazing stuff. Yeah. So, he always handled it very well, though.
He is. He's a good one, no doubt about it. I don't know what we'd do without him. There's a whole bunch of people that I don't know what we'd do without, man. I'm not kidding you. I mean, we got some dedicated folks that are that know what they're doing and they're willing to do it and all of that stuff. I don't have to tell nobody nothing. I'll just be honest with you, man. I mean, all of the moving, the people and all of that kind of thing. Ralph Blinn is our move-in director. And or lead or whatever you want to call it, and so him and Joe Henderson and John Hilliard and a couple more people, they make sure that everybody gets in, and those boys do a heck of a job. They really do. That was the job that I started out with the Huntsville Hamfest. I was a move-in director and all of that stuff, and then things happened. Don Tunstall went silent key with us, and so then that pushed me up to the president's slot there, and also, I mean, we always got this thing. Of course, it's not actually true that if you're part of the Huntsville Hamfest organizing committee or workers and all that stuff, kind of like Hotel California, man. You can check out anytime you want to, but you can't really leave, man. Dave Gibbons, man, He's a prime example. He did the flea market for all those years. It's 30-something years, man, that he did that. But he's still, he's a vice president as well, along with Art Davis and Teresa Frost is our secretary of treasury. She's a board member as well. And but anyway, old Dave, he's just as active right now as he ever was. And he's not getting away from the Hamfest. He's just letting somebody else do the job that he had. But Dave did a swell job for a long number of years. So did Art and Johnny and man, just everybody. It's just something that Huntsville Hamfest is kind of. It's grown into a pretty good sized Hamfest. So we're proud of it.
Absolutely, and you should be. Well, it's time to pay some of the bills here, but we'll be back with Charlie, and we'll take your calls right after this message from Tower Electronics right here on Ham Talk Live. This episode of Ham Talk Live is brought to you by Tower Electronics. Tower Electronics has been the Ham's dime store since 1978, bringing connectors, antennas, cables, and other parts to the world. Scott and Jill travel the country bringing their store to you at Hamfest, but you can also order online at pl-259.com or by calling 920-435-2973. Stock up on those supplies like PL259 and N connectors, audio cables, mobile antennas, and ham sticks. Their silver-plated N connectors are even in use on the International Space Station. Tower Electronics is a dealer for MFJ, Comet, Daiwa, OPEC, Workman, and Ham Pro Technologies. Tower Electronics online at pl-259.com, proud to sponsor this episode of Ham Talk Live.
Join the conversation. Call us on voice with Skype at Ham Talk Live or give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. That's 812-638-4261. Now, here's more Ham Talk Live.
Hey, we'd like to thank Scott and Jill at Tower Electronics for sponsoring the show tonight so we can bring you Ham Talk Live. Tower Electronics have been huge supporters of my Hamfest, and I know they're going to be at the Huntsville Hamfest this weekend, so make sure you visit Tower Electronics down there at Huntsville, or if you can't make it, give them a call, 920-435-2973, or their website at pl-259.com. Be sure to listen to Ham Talk Live every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at hamtalklive.com, and if you missed the show, you can download the podcast from the website and most popular podcasting websites. Well, it's time for your calls right now. If you have a question for Charlie, give us a call at 812-NET-HAM1. Again, that phone number, 812-NET-HAM1, 812-638-4261. You can also Skype your questions at Ham Talk Live. You can tweet your questions, rather. And you can Skype us at Ham Talk Live as well, or just click on the chat feature there on the website as well. We'll be watching for all of those and take your questions about the Huntsville Hamfest. Joined this evening with Charlie Emerson in for OKL, taking some time out of his busy schedule trying to get the Hamfest put together to join us tonight. And we do have a call here, so let's go ahead and take that. Hello, you're on Ham Talk Live. Who's this?
Hi, my name is Scott. I just wanted to call and say, I've been knowing Charlie for quite a while, and he does quite a good job at the Hamfest. And I figure another year or two we may take his training wheels off.
Yeah. Now, Scott, you must have been listening during the break, because Charlie and I were talking about you during the break.
Charlie's a lifesaver. Him and his crew are fantastic. They will bend over backwards for you.
Yeah, Charlie was telling me about your most recent bailout.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. But it's good to know that you have friends in the cities when you travel, and there's nobody like a ham that can help you out and lend a helping hand, especially when you need it.
So, especially when you have some vehicle problems, I'm hearing.
Absolutely, and that happens a lot when you travel. It happens a lot.
Yeah, it does. Well, thanks so much for calling in, Scott.
And say hi, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing you too, Neil, this weekend. And if you haven't been to the Huntsville Hamfest, you're missing one of the great ones. Trust me, I've been to a lot of them, and this is one of the best ones in the country.
Thank you, Scott. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, you got it, guys. Take care. Have fun. We'll see you,
All right,
see you tomorrow.
Scott. All right, take care now. 812-NET-HAM1 is the phone number, 812-638-4261, or chat or tweet or whatever if you have a comment or question for Charlie and for OKL from the Huntsville Hamfest. And we mentioned the youth lounge a little bit and some of the things that you've got going on there. Tell us a little bit more about how that came about and what's available for kids that may be visiting the Huntsville Hamfest.
Well, again, Neil, that's a good website item to go and look and see. Monty does a lot of things. He wears several hats there. He's also our webmaster. But Dr. Monty Bateman is the Youth Lounge director. Him and his wife and two sons. And Monty is, of course, he's a PhD and he's a lightning expert. He's going to do a forum for us and all of that kind of stuff. One of the most interesting things you've ever seen. But Monty is just a really swell guy. He's an Eagle Scout, and so is his two sons, and they're into robotics, just pretty heavy. And they've had some teams that scored fairly high nationally. And what they do is they do robotics, and the main thing that they do, I think, is this time Monty has bought a bunch of new soldering irons, and so Monty teaches the kids how to solder and safely, and teaches them a lot about radio in general. But he gets down to the basics, and I'll tell you what, our youth lounge is one of the really more popular spots in the Hamfest. Man, we got a lot of different. We got a really diverse Hamfest. We've got a lot of people in the Hamfest there that doesn't have ham equipment, but we know that these guys bring their wives and their kids and everything to Hamfest now, and you got to have stuff that appeals to them as well. And I'll tell you what, old Monty has made the Huntsville Hamfest Youth Lounge something that, man, it's something to behold. Like you say, I mean, he's really doing a good job with it. And the kids come out of there, they have a good time. They do fox hunts. They do, all of those things that you see kids do around Hamfest and all that stuff. So we're very fortunate to have him and his wife and his two sons. They're all brilliant people, and they know what they're doing. So the Youth Lounge is probably next to none, to be honest with you. I don't know, but it looks like it's one of the best that I can see.
Well, one of my students, she learned how to solder at the youth lounge down there, and that's something that she's mentioned that that was part of what got her interested into ham radio and science, and so we were really impressed with what they do down there, But I'm guessing from what you said earlier that he might have something to say about one of our products that we sell here on Ham Talk Live. Wink, wink. It is Zap Free. It's this stuff that you spray on your antennas, and it keeps them from getting hit by lightning.
Well,
so he might not believe that. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know whether he would or not, but I know he knows the real deal. I know that.
Yeah. So we mentioned him, and we mentioned Gordon. Do you have any other forum speakers that you want to mention?
Oh yeah. Well, Bob Enderbitson is going to be here. He's going to be doing he's a marketing manager, and we got Joe Fairclaw. I know you know him. And he'll be doing an interview with us. Doug Raymond, who's the Southeastern Division Director. We got Larry Price. We got Ed Tyler. And using electronic media to communicate with the ham community, to communicate with the ham community and general public. Looks like Bob Enderbitson's doing a couple of forums for us. And Joe, let me just kind of turn the page here. We've got a bunch of them. We got a Skywarn forum with Robert Boyd. We got Lightning Research at NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center with Dr. Monty Bateman. He does two types of forums there. We got a YL forum, Miss Catherine Andrews, AC4YL, and we got public service. We got Tri-Service Mars with Bob Glasscock, lightning protection. Monty does two of them. One of them, he talks just about lightning in general and how and what and all of that stuff. And then the other one that he does at a different time is how to protect your shack. And so that's the one thing that all of us dread is a lightning strike. Man, I'll tell you the truth. That is nothing to want to deal with. We got AMSAT. We got D-Star Innovations with Ron Schaefer. W4VM. We got amateur radio ballooning with Bill Brown. Receiver audio, Bob DiPierre. And Bob is just a man. He is a genius on radios. I'm telling you the truth. He can build and fix. As a matter of fact, he's got his own RF engineering company. We got Ben Lowe, who is also a good friend of mine, that will be doing a one-day polar mount for space tracking. And so Ben Lowe has also got his own RF engineering company. I mean, these guys are top notch. They really are. Stephen Hicks is going to be doing a Flex 6000 for DX contesting. And we got the technology behind the K3S and our other new products with David Schoaf. And I guess that's how you say his name. Not real sure. Got Mr. Joe Eisenberg that comes here every year. Boy, and I'll tell you what, old Joe, he leaves out of here with a bunch of prizes. That he buys a bunch of tickets and he wins. He wins a lot. He really does.
Yeah, he does.
Good guy. And here's probably one of the main events. Gordon West at the Instructor Academy, and getting started with amateur radio with Sholto Fisher. I guess that's how you say his name. And then we got Craig Behrens, QRP seminar there, and the Shocking Stories from the Heart Stories. There's that Stories with Jerry Brown, and then we got contesting multi-forum. It's a 3-hour. Tim Winiger, and he's president of the Alabama Contest Group, and he'll be talking about multi-forum contesting. So that's a little bit of rundown right there, and that's just a real fast thing. But go to our website, hamfest.org. Look on the left-hand side and click on forums, and you can get the full story. So there you go.
Very good, Charlie. Well, we're just about out of time, but I do want to mention, of course, that at 2 o'clock on Saturday, there'll be the Amateur Radio Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award presentation with our friend Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. And this year's winner is Skylar Fennell from Denver. And I know he's looking forward to the trip. Been talking to him a little bit this week. And that's always a highlight to see the young people recognized. And that's been the home of that award down there at Huntsville for quite some time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell you, we're very fortunate to have that. I don't know why they don't do it at Dayton, but we're very fortunate to do it here, man, and glad to do it. We try to make sure that we leave some space available for the winner at the embassy there next door, and get them squared away with a room and all of that kind of thing. So we're very, very fortunate to have that activity here. Also, the Alabama Young Ham of the Year. I don't have the names. I like to say, man, I tell you what, I'd have been a lot more prepared for this if we wasn't so busy, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what, I think everybody's kind of waited a little bit or something, but boy, you talk about here in the last little bit, I've been running in circles, man, and I ain't kidding you. That's the truth. I think I've got everything done, but that I would, I'd like to talk a little bit sometime about the people that do those things and all of that. Alabama and the Young Ham of the Year and the National Young Ham of the Year. So I mean, I really appreciate them guys doing that here, and also the gentleman that got the Hiram Maxim.
Yeah, that's Chris Brault, and you'll see him in the top hat. I'm sure he likes his hat, and so he'll be around there. And we're going to have Skylar on the show here in a couple of weeks. So you can tune in for that. And Charlie, we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you, and we really appreciate it, man. It's been my pleasure, and I say good evening to all the listeners there that may be listening in. And y'all remember W5KUB.com. You may be able to see some of the critters running around there. So anyway, Neil, thank you so much, my friend, and I'm looking forward to you coming.
I had to cancel it the last second. I had something come up. I just canceled my room today, as a matter of fact. I really wish I was coming. Yeah. But unfortunately had to change that.
Well, sorry about that. But man, I really am looking forward to getting an eyeball with you, as we say.
Oh yeah, we will next time.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks a lot, Neil. And, man, good luck with all of your adventures here and all of that stuff. And, again, go to www.hamfest.org, prowl around, see what you see, then come on to Huntsville.
All right. And next week, Ward Silver, N0AX with the Yasme Foundation and the Smurrius Emissions Band. So make sure you tune in next Thursday. For now, I'll say 7375. May the good DX be yours.